Hello and welcome to June 2011. My name is Sean. Today is June 1st. As we enter the technically second to final month, but the final full month of the 2011 MLB season. We'll have 4 games in July, or 4 days in July, and then we will be off to the playoffs. We have 4 matchups for you today, as we always do. We have the Pirates taking on the Mets, the Marlins and the Phillies. That's a battle for first place in the NL East. The Dodgers and the Cubs and the Mariners and the Twins. Let's jump in. Bam. That is the screen that I want. Schedule. One of these was handpicked. It was this, where am I going? Mets. It was this Marlins Phillies game. I didn't realize they had interdivision games left in this season still. And for first place in the NL East is very exciting. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Sorry we're a little bit late. A little work. Little late. What? A little bit of late work. Little late out of work. Goodness gracious. So it kind of pushed my whole schedule back there. Justin Verlander's taking on Daisuke Matsuzuka. I don't know that we've seen Matsuzuka. Matsuzuka? Daisuke? I'm not sure. Sometimes it's like, is Daisuke a nickname or is it how you pronounce the name? Pirates are 31-20. The Mets are 23-27. Again, you flip that 0-6 start, even just kind of splitting it. They're right around 500 because they actually have been playing 500 ball for most of the season, but it was just such an abysmal start in a good division. Pittsburgh is going to have Nick Markakis, the right fielder, lead off, followed by first baseman Nick Johnson, second baseman Robinson Cano, third baseman is Jose Bautista. Designated hitter is Seth Smith. Alfonso Soriano is in left. Miguel Olivo at catcher. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick in center. Ryan Terriot in the shortstop position. This was a wheel spin game. And I did cut out some of the teams that are kind of like super out of it to try and give us some more, hopefully more interesting and competitive matchups. But Justin Verlander, 5-4 with a 4.08 ERA, 10 games with 28.2 innings pitched, 31, 8, and 27 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Here's your defensive lineup for the New York Mets. And Nick Markakis will be leading things off here in New York. Now live on my channel this very video. Well, that's exciting. Pitcher Verlander is set, winds and fires. That is a big curveball outside. I think you have mentioned that in the chat before, but I think that's the only way I would have heard of that. It looks familiar, but it looks like a thing that I've only read. From the righty, it's inside. Big curveball, the outside miss for a ball. Verlander tries to go east to west there. Misses inside. It's quickly 2-0. As he winds and fires, that's looked like a pretty hittable pitch, but I think Markakis probably a good idea to take the pitch there. It makes it 2-1. Kind of a good color matchup. Lemons versus orange. I think I said it another day. I think you did as well. Which is fine. That would be the only way that I know it. Is if someone has asked me if I've known it before, but then that makes sense. 3-1. Verlander falling behind this batter who has not taken the bat off his shoulder. And he will work a walk. So a very patient at bat from Markakis, which is an odd thing to see because the leadoff batter really likes aggressively swinging at it. We are coming off a game where the Pittsburgh Pirates are able to work a couple of walks. They crushed the Minnesota Twins 14-1. I don't believe this game was pickable yesterday. Maybe it was and I just missed it. But we'll see. We'll see if this offense can continue to roll. That's foul away. If they do continue to roll, it could be a long game by virtue of the fact that they're going to probably score a lot of runs. The righty winds and fires. That's hit well, but foul. 0-2. And that is outside for a ball. Good take. Verlander's been a little wild with the pitching today so far. Here's the pitch, and it is fouled away, so they'll do the 1-2 again. And, ooh, gets the swing and the miss on a pitch low outside of the zone. Wow. Okay. Comes back with a strikeout following the walk, and bing, bang, boom. One gone. Robinson Cano, 5 home runs, 20 RBI. Cano crushed a 3-run home run in the game against Minnesota that we watched recently. To get to that 20 RBI number, here's the pitch from Verlander. Goes with that curveball. He's liking that curveball so far. It's just not really getting in the zone. It's not a competitive pitch so far. I think the only reason he got the swing and miss last time because it was a 2-strike count. Verlander falls behind this batter, 1-0. He'll fall even further behind, 2-0 now. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It is outside, 3-0. It's got to be a hands-off controller. Just take it. Whatever happens, happens. Ready is ready. Winds and fires. I mean, hey, if you're going to swing, that's the pitch to swing on. A little early on it. Pulls it foul. He had the distance, but just didn't stay in fair territory. Here comes the 3-1. That is smacked out towards center. Didn't get nearly enough of it as the center fielder glides over to make the grab. Runner will retreat to first, 2 outs. Boy, you'd like that timing a little more with the power that he had on the last one. This looked like it was off the end of the bat a little bit. So it's an interesting start for the Mets, to say the least. That is in for a strike. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Big aggressive swing from Batista there. I was going to look at, see if there were any scores. 1-2. 2 gone. They drive it into foul territory yet again, trying to put a good swing on it. It's deep into the stands as the right fielder takes a look. Here's the pitch, low. Verlander looking for one more strikeout to get out of this inning after issuing a walk. 3 consecutive outs would be a pretty good bounce back. And they have not been able to advance that runner off of first either. This one's going to get punched into left. Does the left fielder have it? He does. A lunging grab means that Pittsburgh puts the lead runner on, or the leadoff hitter on, and can't do anything with it. Let's introduce you to these New York Mets right now. It'll be Joe Mather, the center fielder, starting things off, followed by Dustin Pedroia over at second. Big Panda, Kung Fu Panda is what they call him. Pablo Sandoval is at third. Aubrey Huff at first. Hunter Penson right. Lyle Overbay is the designated hitter. Connor Jackson in left, and then Ramon Castro is your catcher. Ramon Santiago is the shortstop. Starting pitcher for today is Daisuke Matsuzuki. Daisuke. I'm not sure. He's 5-4 with a 5.26 ERA, 10 games, 25.2 innings pitched. I got caught up on the name, so we're a little behind on his stats. And then I started that all the way at the beginning. Cool. Where was he? 5.26 ERA, 10 starts, 25.2 innings pitched, 27, 16, and 14. You don't like having more walks than strikeouts. That's not good. That is a kind of a big curveball. Misses low. So neither pitcher finding the zone immediately. That is a swing and a miss. That's a nice slider. Looked pretty competitive and then just dove out of the zone at the last possible second. As of today, you could pre-order MLB Topps MLB Series 1 for 2026, which is pretty exciting. Celebrating their 75th anniversary. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. When is, let's see, February 11th is what? A Wednesday? And they're going to call a strike on the inside corner. It's a couple of days in a row now of games where that inside, high inside of the right-handed pitchers has been, or hitters, excuse me, has been a little wide. That one gets the strikeout. It'll bring up Dustin Pedroia. And he'll work with one out. That is inside for a ball. So it falls behind this batter. 1-0 as well. Bounced back, got the called strikeout. See what he can do against Pedroia. Leaves a curveball in a pretty hittable location. Thankfully for him, it's fouled away. Makes it 1-1. That is low for a ball. Two and one. The righty is ready. Winds and fires. Foul up the first base line. We'll do it again. Oh, I guess that makes it 2-2. Never mind. The count was backwards in my head. I did look at the YouTube, the corner of the YouTube stream on. That is foul. Here comes the wind and the pitch. It's swung on and missed. So Mets having trouble getting a hold of these pitches from the Pirates starter. They'll bring up Pablo Sandoval. Only one home run, 10 RBIs with a 216 average. I think you would want that 216 average up a little bit. 10 RBI, not terrible, not great. Here comes the pitch from the right-hander. And he will finally get ahead of the batter. 0-1 to lead things off. He's missed the previous two pretty non-competitively with balls. Shakes his head. Readies. He has kind of a longer wind-up. That one's foul. Quickly 0-2 to Sandoval. That is inside for a ball. Just missed. Probably the most competitive ball that we've seen from Matsuzuka? I'm not sure on the last name. Sandoval takes again inside. Good patience there. Maybe doesn't love the location. Brushing him back a little bit. It is 2-2 though. He's done his job to have a couple of takes and even things up. Here comes the 2-2. It is hit out towards right field, but not nearly deep enough, as it will be softly tromped into the right fielder's glove. 1-2-3 inning for the New York Mets. Pittsburgh worked a walk with their first batter and hasn't done anything. We have no score, no hits, no errors as we head to the top of the second. That is rolled over foul. Here comes the 0-1. That is inside for a ball. Verlander can't get the call in the outside corner. Just missed it out there, but he also hasn't earned that call. He's been all over the zone, really inconsistent. Both pitchers have. It's just that Verlander's more consistently missed the zone. That's a big swing and a miss, and that's a really big hack with a 2-1 lead in the count. That swing makes it 2-2 when it likely should probably be 3-1. That is foul up the first base line. Pittsburgh stuck with that ugly 0. Last time we saw them, they had 6 in the first inning. That is foul up the third base line. Two and 2. Verlander's ready. That one's in the dirt. Good hold by the leadoff batter here for the Pirates. Seen a couple of times where Verlander's thrown that curveball, which again hasn't been super competitive. And they get the swing and the miss. That is a little more competitive, closer to the knees at the bottom of the zone, but he'll swing on it and miss. So who's going to be the first team to maybe try to get into the bullpen a little bit? Maybe that's the difference. Maybe a solo shot is enough for either side, because offensively, neither team's looked particularly good, and both pitchers have been effective, even though they haven't necessarily been consistently in the zone. Falling behind in counts way too frequently. Of course, as soon as I say that, they get ahead of the count. Verlander does. 0-1. Soriano puts a swing on that, but it is, well, foul. Yeah, there's the foul. Finally comes back into the frame. It's 0-2. That misses low and inside. It's a decent looking pitch. Like you can see that you're just trying to bait that swing, but Soriano with a good eye. Keeps the count 1-2. I like that pitch on an 0-2 count. Sometimes I get a little annoyed that they get too cute, but Pittsburgh, with 2 strikes, has shown willingness to swing on pitches with movement. That'll set him down on strikes. It'll bring up Miguel Oliva. He's batting .227. A couple of home runs, 9 RBI. Does have a stolen base on the season. Two outs here in the top of the second. That just misses low. And a hitter is ahead, 1-0. Verlander's ready and fires. Inside for a ball. And oh, he gets the strike at the knees. Called strike one. Makes it 2-1. Slow start here in this one. No score with 2 outs in the top of the second. That is a good swing, but it isn't going to be enough. It is not. Hunter Pence makes the catch out in right field as he hurtled towards the warning track and the wall. The Zeros stay where they are, and we will head to the bottom half of the second. Don't look at that end of the first. I don't know why it's broken, but it's like half an inning off. Aubrey Huff, batting .233, will lead things off. And here is the first pitch. It's outside for a ball. And there is our first hit of the game. It's past a diving second baseman into right field. It is a single, and the Mets finally break all the zeros up a little bit. One hit. It'll bring up Hunter Pence. I mean, this is the time to take a lead in these 3-inning games. Is bottom of the second. Or I guess if you're the away team, top of the third. Just minimize the amount of time they have to come back. He didn't get anybody. I thought it was going to propel him into second base as we take a look at it. It's a slow roller, back up the middle, shortstop all over it. I thought this animation right here is he hits dirt, and he's just a step behind it, and then just can't really do anything. It's not really much of a play at second. I mean, he has a shot over at first, but it's too late. Brutal turn of events for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2 on with nobody out. Missed play like that, where the game just kind of doesn't give you what you need, almost assures that you're going to score a run here. Behind the back, he'll toss over to first. He is safe. So a couple of times they could actually be out of the inning if something goes just a little bit differently. Looks like a funky little behind the back toss. But it'll be runners on the corners, 1 gone. Double play ends the threat. That's outside. The game really, again, I've talked about it a lot. The game punishes defenses, it seems, a lot when you can't turn those defensive plays. A lot of different ways, by the way, for the Mets to get this run in. Getting a weird ball call there is, I guess, part of that as well. That is a funky call. Looked like it was right on that outside edge, but doesn't go his way. 2-0. That will be a strike. Makes it 2-1. Fly ball gives them the lead. And he will do a whole lot more than that. He will punch that all the way out of the yard. That is a 3-run home run. The Mets, 1 swing, and they have the lead. They show us all the apple. Wow. I mean, that's kind of ultimate punishment for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They get a really bad animation on a slow roller that should have been 1 out. They can't turn the double play, which could have been outs number 2 and 3, or at least should have been out number 2. And that would have taken a couple of runs off the board. Or maybe just the 1 run off the board. Ramon Castro, batting .262. Instead of a 3-run home run, maybe it's just a 2-run blast. There's still just one gone. Yeah, I guess they should be out of the inning. That's fouled away. So we'll see what the Pirates defense can do here. They can bounce back, keep this reasonably close. It's just hard to believe that anybody's going to be able to do anything with that kind of a lead because neither team has been good offensively. That is punched out to Hunter Pence. That is out number 2. And that one definitely should have ended the inning. Man. He'll get the strike on the inside. And it's not really the pitcher's fault. He's given his defense opportunities. Obviously, the home run's on him because he leaves it in a bad spot or just maybe a little too predictable. The defense behind him makes that a lot worse. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Go for just one more out here. That is swung on and missed for a strike. And swung on and missed. The strikeout ends the inning, but the Mets pick up 3 hits and 3 runs. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick, Ryan Terriot, and Nick Barkakis coming up for the Pirates to try and keep this game alive in the top of the 3rd. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick. Takes a... Ooh, wow. Does not agree with the call, and I'll be honest, I don't agree with the call either. That was a strike on the outside corner. It was already kind of a funky call from our angle, but it's double funky because Verlander has not been throwing the ball particularly well or consistently in the zone. He'll go with a big looping curveball. That one's in the zone. Probably wants that pitch back to try and take a swing at. Quickly 0-2. See what Verlander has on offer. The wind and the pitch low for a ball. Here comes the 1-2. It is swung on and missed. That has been the Pirates' problem all day long. Verlander hasn't been particularly sharp today, but he has come up with some of those pitches, that in that case a 93-mile-an-hour running fastball. You can see the glint of the blue as it's flashing so far away from the bottom of the zone that it misses even the extra area that the pitch tracker covers. And we've seen Verlander with some curveballs in that case, like I said, or like it said, running fastball, just well out of the zone that the Pirates are taking swings at with 2 strikes. Bad strike 1 call leads to a funky strike 3 swing. And it's 1 gone for Pittsburgh. Takes a look at ball 1. Maybe where the last at-bat should have started, 1-0. That is outside. 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's rolled foul up the third base line. And thought about swinging. The appeal, they're going to call it a swing. So it'll just be a strike. It's not an out. They have been appealing down to the base umpires more frequently. And they've been more frequently calling it a strike. For most of the early part of the season, it was just a very unnecessarily dramatic safe or didn't go. Tara takes a pitch on the outside edge for a strike. We get another pitch track. I guess the other one was a swing track. Circle change at 84 miles an hour. Gets the outside edge beautifully. And that is strike 3. So a couple of strikeouts here for Justin Verlander in the top of the third. And we are down to the final out for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 3-0 game. As here's the wind and the pitch. It's inside for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That's upstairs. Hey, how's it going? Two and 0. 2 outs. That is just over the shortstop's glove. It'll get into left field. That was not what I wanted to select. Nick Johnson 0 for 1 with a strikeout. They still need another base runner before they can even bring the tying run to the plate. Thanks to some defensive lapses by this Pittsburgh team. They will check on the runner at first. He is safe, as he always is, except for once. I think you could probably say that that's still always safe. Verlander gets a strike call at the knees. Oh, that was the first pitch. Okay, that's right, because he threw over. Here comes the 0-1 inside. Ball makes it 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is going to be hit to the second baseman. He scoops it cleanly and is out, or is in time to first base for out number 3. So Verlander, he's going to earn himself a shutout. Neither pitcher particularly sharp today. But the Mets walk away victorious thanks in part to some defensive blunders from the Pittsburgh Pirates. But they still probably would have lost this game via the home run anyway. Verlander is your player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. He'll pick up the win and improve to 6-4. Matsuzuka falls to 5-5. Jackson's, was that 5th home run of the season? Everything's falling off my leg here. Third home run. I'm glad that I looked. But that will do it from New York. We will head on over to game number 2, which I very clearly and obviously remember it's that battle for the NL East crown. It is the Marlins taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. These teams separated by just 1 game, so if the Phillies win, we're all knotted up at 31-20. If Philadelphia wins this series, they would walk out with a tie. If they sweep, they would walk out with a lead. As I edit the thumbnail. Welcome on in. Thanks again for hanging out, everybody. If you're enjoying the content, hit the video with a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Helps out the channel. Welcome to Philly, home of brotherly love. The Florida Marlins are 31-19. The Philadelphia Phillies 30-20. As we are ready for some baseball in Citizens Bank Park. Muhammad Haney is going to lead things off for the Marlins, center fielder. Todd Helton's the DH. Alex Rodriguez at third base. Pat Burrell in left. Garrett Jones is in right field. Paul Konerko at first. Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop. Jesus Flores is behind the dish. And Danny Espinosa is the second baseman. Should be a right-handed right-handed pitcher today. Helton, when it's a left-handed pitcher, Helton slides to the 5 spot. I think they maybe flip Garrett Jones out. It's Roy Halladay, 5-3 with a 4.56 ERA, 10 games, 25.2 innings pitched, 26, 8, and 21 in the hits, walks, and strikeouts. Ba-ba-dee-ba-boo-bow. Charge! Muhammad Haney leading things off for the Marlins as we get game number 2 underway. Halladay winds and fires, and he is a little off the mark for his first pitch. Falls behind 1-0. That is gonna look like it looks like a very similar pitch, but it's gonna get the call on the outside for the strike. 1-1. And that is in for a strike on the inside. So working west to east is Roy Halladay, to the righty, Muhammad Haney to start things off. Halladay stands, winds, fires, goes for that curveball. We saw Verlander do that a lot. We do have our second and third NL East teams, by the way. Thanks, wheel spin. Oh, pardon me. Full count. Here comes the payoff pitch to the leadoff hitter. Haney is going to get under that one. It'll go into center field, but obviously not deep enough. Hello, walk-off. Stand-up set was, again, great. Keep it up. Anything else? Time, practice, and repetition. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate the kind words. It was, I felt a lot better about it immediately walking off the stage after the first one was not great. But like you're saying, it's time, repetition, practice. And that's the whole point of the videos, is to watch that evolution. But I do appreciate you watching. Thank you for checking it out. This is hit out towards left field. And that's quickly 2 away for the Florida Marlins. Halladay's pitching and the defense off to a fast start against this Marlins team that we actually see. I don't want to, it's going to almost sound like a backhanded compliment, but this Florida Marlins 1-2 in the order has not been good all season long. We have watched them consistently throughout this season. It's A-Rod that got knocked out to left field. He is the turning point in this lineup, it feels like. I will say, blackout in the announcer from saying your full name. Don't want to do yourself? Oh, dox myself? Yeah. It's a good thought. I didn't even think about it. I kind of don't even realize that my full name's because I don't even say my full name. I'm like, I'm Sean. That's it. That's all you need to know. I didn't think about that. Top of the first. A runner on first. They're going to put him in motion. A-Rod, the throw down to second in time for the out. That will retire the side. Alex Rodriguez picks up the lone hit, but gets thrown out on the base paths. It's no score here in the battle for the lead for the NL East. Phillies and Marlins. 0-0. Let's get you caught up on or introduced you to the Philadelphia Phillies lineup. Shin-Soo Choo, the right fielder, will lead things off. Ramiro Pena is the shortstop. Justin Morneau at first. Johnny Gomez in left field. Or Gomes? Jorge Posada is the catcher. Andres Torres in center. Ronnie Belliard at second. Casey Kochman, the designated hitter. And Brandon Inge at third base. First name Sean. Last name spelled the right way. Yeah. Hi, I'm Sean. Spells his name correctly. Zach Greinke is 4-5 with a 3.68 ERA. 10 games with 29.1 innings pitched. 27, 8, and 23 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Here's your defensive lineup for the Florida Marlins. Hello everyone, I'm Sean. I spelled my name correctly. Zach Greinke versus Roy Halladay. That feels like a matchup people would have really enjoyed back in 2011. And we get to enjoy it here. They're not playing for the correct teams. First baseman dives over the top of the ball, and that will be maybe even a little bit of a bobble out there in right field. So a messy start for this Florida Marlins defense, playing with a little bit of pressure. A win over the Phillies here would be big. Winning the series over the Phillies would be big. It's a good job just making sure that he gets the single. That's going to be rolled over to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly to second. The turn over to first in time for the out. And just like that, 2 away. So the dive over the top and the bobble in right and raced immediately. I was going to compliment the Phillies as well for making sure, hey, we just got the single. We don't need to try and push for second when it's probably not going to be worth it. So we saw that one time, they bobbled it in right field or whatever it was, and they tried to advance to third, but it didn't work. Pitches in for a strike right at the top of the zone. Greinke's ready and fires. That is hit out towards left field. It's a diving grab by the left fielder. A beautiful defensive play. Each team with a hit. That hit into a double play. And we will head to the top of the second scoreless. Burrell, Jones, and Konerko coming up for the Florida Marlins. So I guess Pat Burrell will continue his at-bat. He's already seen a couple of pitches from this starting pitcher, Roy Halladay, for the Phillies. Halladay winds and fires. That's a strike over the heart of the plate. The righty fires. Smacked into foul territory. Foul ball. First baseman took a look, but wasn't going to be able to do anything with it. So we'll do it again. And that'll be foul up the third baseline. Let's do it again. That one stays way upstairs. One and two, the count. That is outside for a ball. Here comes the 2-2. That is low. Just misses the knees, and that'll be a ball to make it a full count, 3-2. And that'll be hit to the second baseman. Charges it a little bit. Comes up with a nice play and fires over to first in time. Garrett Jones steps up. 20 RBIs. That's looking pretty good. Maybe bump him up in the lineup a little bit. Those first two hitters have not been effective. But a guy with a better average and more RBIs and an opportunity to help Alex Rodriguez out. Because that's how it usually seems to go. The first two batters for the Marlins look really bad. And then A-Rod comes up with 2 outs and not really much of an opportunity to do anything. Oh, I said that it was a hit in both teams hit into a double play. It was a stolen base attempt for the Marlins. My bad. There's the pitch inside. Gets the strike on the edge. Here comes the 1-2. 1 gone. That's outside for a ball. And that's low for a ball. Three and 2. That is hit to the shortstop. Ground out over to first base. No offense so far in this one, really. A couple of runners have visited first base, but nothing's come of it just yet. Paul Konerko, 319 average on the season, 6 home runs, 11 RBI. See if he can get something going with 2 outs for the Florida Marlins here in the top of the second. This one at least makes a little bit more sense as to why it'd be kind of a pitching duel. Greinke and Halladay. Maybe not at the top of their powers, but at least it makes a little bit more sense. Especially with how inconsistent both pitchers were in the last game for the Pirates and the Mets. That is a bold swing. He's going to get the end of the bat and drive it foul. Quickly 0-2. Halladay fires, and that pitch started inside and just kind of crept over the plate. Gets the strikeout, and we will head to the bottom half of the second. It's not the end of the first, it's the bottom of the second. We're going to Johnny. Okay, they say Gomes. Maybe the difference is an S instead of a Z? Is that bad to say? I guess we also don't know, like, the phonetic origins of it. Two and 0. Here comes the pitch from Greinke. And he'll get a strike on the inside. Kind of doing what Halladay was doing as well. Just trying to work that inside. And look to get the call. And there's a hit out into right field. A nice little single that was a curveball. Looked like he was diving toward the bottom of the zone and then just kind of went down and got it. And that'll bring up Jorge Posada, the gloveless one, the gloveless wonder. Maybe, I don't know. It's a very kind of old school batting stance. I don't know there's a whole lot of hitters hitting with no gloves anymore. There's the 0-1. It's outside for a ball. Philly looking to do what the Mets did in the last game, take a lead late in the game at the bottom of the second and hold off any potential offensive charge from Florida. Walk away with a victory. See what they can do with nobody out and a runner on first. Here's the pitch. Gets the outside corner. I believe that makes it 2-1. 2-2, excuse me. Oh, wow. Gets Posada to swing at that one. Low and inside. Posada does a nice job to foul that one off and stay alive. Count remains 2-2. And that's low for a ball. Here's the payoff pitch. It is hit well, but foul. Actually, not really hit that well. It's just the sound is... There's only 3 or 4 swing sounds in the game. So. We'll do a payoff pitch again, and this one will be lifted out to left, and it'll be a routine play for the left fielder who fires in to make sure that the runner retreats back to first as the cutoff man runs it in. Pat Burrell out there in left field. Andres Torres. Speaking of San Francisco Giants, nobody's been past first. They called that a strike. Okay, that's a weird one. That is going to be hit out to left field. Boy, they got the lead-off runner on, the lead-off batter on, and then just nothing. Nothing. They're also making Burrell out there a busy man. Ronnie Belliard stepping up. Here's their last chance here with a runner on in the bottom of the second. They're going to put the runner in motion. It'll be the second steal attempt we've seen, and it'll be the second out on the base paths. I don't know why I was going to go with a safe call. He was going to be out, no problem. Cabrera, Flores, and Espinoza stepping up. They're coming up for the Marlins in the top half of the third. 2 hits for the Phillies, but they can't do anything with either of them. Orlando Cabrera, no home runs, 7 RBI. That is a pitch on the inside. Gets the corner. It's 0-1. Halladay stands and fires. That is skied to the catcher. He'll make the out in foul territory and quickly 1 away. Jesus Flores stepping in with 1 gone. I mean, both teams looking for anything at this point. That's not going to do it. Jams him on the inside. It's fouled away up the first base line. Oh and 1, swung on and missed for a strike. That makes it 0-2. Here comes the 0-2. That is hit out towards left center. The left fielder should have a good reach on it. He does to make the out. Danny Espinosa, 308 average. He has a couple of home runs. Already 2 gone for Florida here in the the top half of the third. Good take there as the pitch misses low for a ball, 1-0. Holiday's looked very good. So has Greinke, that we've seen both of these teams not be able to get really anything on the ball from a swing perspective. That is rolled over. First baseman hits the pitcher covering. That is out number 3. We'll head to the bottom half, the home half of the third. Tied at 0. 2 hits for Philadelphia, 1 hit for Florida. Belliard will return to the plate. Kochman and Inge. The game's kind of frozen a little bit weirdly there. Like, I think they're going to the bullpen rather than just continuing on. Greinke does not get the call on the outside. Can't imagine that he's thrilled with that. I thought it was going to be a strike. Greinke steps and fires. Foul away. And that'll be rolled over. First baseman comes up with it. Races to the bag in time. Out number 1. Casey Kochman. That is not a good looking average for this spot. But hey, he just needs one swing. One swing. If he can put it over the fences, he can pick up a victory here. Here's the wind and the pitch. Drives it foul up the third base line. Greinke winds and fires. That one stays way upstairs. Looked like he was trying to go for a curveball. And it just did not curve. Kind of a break for Greinke. It's a 1-1 count, sure, but at least it didn't like break late and leave it high. And that pitch is so bad it's good. Catcher was set up in the other batter's box. Behind the other batter's box. And then that one drifted over and caught the zone for a strike. 1-2. That is fouled away. Greinke is ready. That is hit out towards center field. Center fielder makes the running grab, and that will be out number 2. Oh, boy. It's almost like there was a reason I took down all of the stamina, and it just isn't working. Brandon Inge steps up. 2 gone here. Greinke fires that one, just misses outside for a ball, 1-0. What? Ooh, they're going to give him a call on the outside edge there. One and one. That is a charge put into it to right field. It is going, a walk-off home run, a 2-out walk-off home run from Brandon Inge. Oh my goodness. I feel like we kind of see that more than I realize in this MLB 11, the show game. The ball just kind of carries every once in a while. I thought we were heading to the 3rd or the 4th inning. I genuinely was like, all right, and we're getting ready for extras, and then it just kind of kept going, and then it had enough. Wow. So we will end this one in regulation, 1-0 Philadelphia. And I mean, hey, if you're looking for the chaos That is what you want. You want Philadelphia. That ties them now. I believe it's just a 3-game set, so it'll tie Florida and Philadelphia at 31 and 20, I believe the records are now. Holiday is your player of the game. Let me grab those stats real quick. 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. He improves to 6-3. Greinke falls to 4-6. Inge with his 4th home run of the season. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and I will be right back. BRB. Okay, we are back and ready to roll. Let's jump on into game number 3, which I believe is the next game right down below. It is indeed. It's the Dodgers and the Cubs. I forgot to catch us up on scores here just a moment ago. Rangers, they fall to the Orioles 1-0. Yankees over the Rays 2-0. We watched that yesterday. The Royals beat the Blue Jays 3-2. That gives them a little bit more breathing room in the American League wild card race. The White Sox over the Tigers 4-0. Braves over the Astros 5-3. Nationals beat the Brewers 3-0. We watched the Mets over the Pirates and the Phillies over the Marlins. We're going to go Dodgers Cubs. As you can see, the American League West standings. We'll be watching the Mariners here in the next game. They'll be taking on the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota. And we'll get the Angels score for that as well, because that's how that works. I need to fix the thumbnail. While the game's loading, if you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new here and you'd like more. You can ring the bell, and you'll be notified when I post new videos. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you didn't check it out, I put up a stand-up set this morning, and if you want just a little bit of a clip of it, I did post a short a little bit about 12:30. Dodgers are 24-26. The Cubs are 27-25, so a couple of teams hovering around 500 as we are here in Wrigley Field. Juan Pierre, the 3-inning legend from the Colorado Rockies season, is the designated hitter. He'll be leading things off for the Dodgers. The Dodgers. Thinking about the wrong Los Angeles team. Center fielder Carlos Beltran. Left fielder Ryan Braun. First baseman is Adam Dunn. Michael Stanton is in right field. Wilson Betemit is at third base. Gordon Beckham at second. Paul Janish at shortstop. Ryan Domat. He is the catcher. Barry Zito's 4-5 with a 5.47 ERA. 10 games, 26.1 innings pitched, 39, 11, and 21 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Not great. 50 to 21 hits and walks combined to the 21 strikeouts. Isn't the numbers that you're looking for, I'm sure, but a plus 10 strikeout to walk ratio is pretty okay. Juan Pierre's batting .308. He was unbelievably helpful in our, and I'm sure he was in that leadoff spot for the Colorado Rockies in MLB 2K5. Zito is a left-handed pitcher, so he will get a lefty-lefty matchup. Dodgers look like they like Pierre regardless, or they just don't care about the matchups. Either could be true. Zito winds and fires. That one's outside for a ball. Here takes a strike on the low inside corner. Pretty good pitch from Zito that looked like it was going to drop out of the zone. It's a good take by Pierre as well. I mean, it's a 2-0 count, so either way, you know, it's either going to be 3-0 or 2-1. We'll take another strike. That one's a little more center cut, but still low in the zone. Probably not going to do a whole lot with it. Let's see what he can do here. 2-2. Lefty winds and fires. That one's way inside. Fills up the count. Payoff pitch upcoming to the leadoff hitter, Juan Pierre. Ooh, I feel like I'm a little over there. That is hit sky high. I mean, that's why you let some of those pitches go. You don't want to get under it and get it out in foul territory, but that's exactly what happens with the payoff pitch. We'll bring up Carlos Beltran. He'll face the left-handed Zito with one gone. That one gets all the way to the wall. Catcher couldn't even come up with it. 1-0. Another miscommunication maybe with the pitcher. It's 2-0. That one also missed and goes all the way to the wall. Zito's got to come up with something here to make it 2-1. He does not. That one stays inside. Good take by Beltran. Make sure that he gets a pitch that he can actually hit. 3-0. Got to be hands-off controller here. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is a strike. I think maybe, I mean, usually it's going to be hands-off controller. Every once in a while we see a pitch that maybe you could take a swing at. But you did just see what happened to Pierre. You don't want that to happen on a 3-0 count. Big swing on 3-1. Might have been ball 4, but it's that big swing off and can't connect with it. 3-2, so back-to-back. Or both hitters so far for the Los Angeles Dodgers in this game have looked at a full count. Here comes yet another payoff pitch in this inning. Zito leaves that one up, but Beltran gets under it just a little bit too much. It's going to be an out in left field. 2 gone. That looked hittable. That looked, I mean, crushable. But just, it's not a great swing at it. Ryan Braun, batting .291. 2 home runs, 16 RBI, 2 stolen bases on the season. Here comes Zito's pitch to open him up. Foul up the third base line. Kind of ramped a little bit off the mound out there. That is going to be hit. Second baseman comes up with it. He'll fire over to first in time for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers. Let's get you introduced to the Cubs lineup here in just a moment. Love that we get the stadium or the roof seats. Michael Bourne is in center field. He'll be leading things off. Martin Prado is in left. Troy Tulowitzki is the shortstop. J.D. Drew is out in right. Josh Tolle is the catcher. Derek Barton at first. Freddie Freeman, designated hitter. Alberto Calespo at third base. And Ricky Weeks is the second baseman. Heavy lefty lineup there between Drew and Freeman. One switch hitter and only 3 true righties. John Main is a righty, 5-5 at the 3.64 ERA. 10 innings of 29.2 innings pitched, 34, 14, and 24 hits, walks, and strikeouts. That pitch is inside for a ball, and that's how things get started in the home half of the first. Man, I am so excited for Topps 2026 cards. Stupid bills, I have to go pay them. God, what a dumb waste of time paying bills is. I could be buying baseball cards. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's the strike call. Because they come out on a Wednesday, we might be able to get it up as a video for Thursday, February 12th, if that's when they would release. I'd have to go check. Might as well going to be rolled over. Second baseman picks it up, fires over to first in time for out number 1. Martin Prado steps up. Here's the right-handed pitcher's first pitch. It's going to be 1 pitch, 1 swing, and a fly out to right field. So quickly 2 gone, and we have maybe kind of a similar situation to the last game that we watched, of just some pitchers that are getting batters out and some batters that can't figure out the pitchers. Troy Tulowitzki's batting .303. He has 20 RBI. It's been a more common number than you might think. Tulowitzki, 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Real quick inning for the Cubs. First batter saw the most pitches, and then the other guy saw 2 total. Zeros everywhere. Dunn, Stanton, and Betterment coming up for the Dodgers in the top half of the second. Dunn with a big swing there. Falls behind 0-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. The 0-2 on the way, and a swing and a miss. So quickly, Dunn is set down on strikes. I'm going to bring up Michael Stanton. We are just kind of burning through batters here. My goodness. I mean, at least in like the first game, there was a walk to start things off. We had a couple of hits in the first inning in the previous game, but we've seen 7 batters up, 7 batters retired. Some of them have been pretty bad at-bats. 2 one-pitch at-bats for the Cubs. We see the 3 straight swinging strikes there for the Dodgers. Just Just a wild thing to watch. 2-0 as the script is flipped a little bit on Zito. Stanton puts a swing on that, drives it to the opposite field. A little under it as it stays up in the air for a long time. Right fielder has plenty of time to get under it, and it will be out number 2. Wilson Bedemet stepping up. Looking to keep this inning going, or just get something going for either side. That pitch will stay outside wide for a ball. Okay, that's a strike at the knees. All right. 1-1. Lefty winds and fires. Gets that strike inside in that high inside corner. Make it 1-2. As a crowd member just yelled, "Good job, Barry." Here's the 2-strike pitch. It's outside for a ball. Bit of funky at bat a little bit here. Zito's had a couple of locations that have been really nice, but he's also had a couple pitches that have not looked great. And there is another one that doesn't look great. That pretty easily could have been ball number 4. There was a funky strike right at the knees, and then you get that high inside corner. A little surprising to see both of them called strikes. Here comes the lefty on the payoff pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Zito's second payoff pitch on the way and absolutely froze him. I don't know what he was really looking for in that situation, but it got him. That is the end of the inning. We still have goose eggs all over the place. See if the Cubs can do anything with it. J.D. Drew batting .321. What could he do to spark a little bit of offense in this game? Not only for the Cubs, but for just kind of the whole stadium. We have seen 9 batters up, 9 batters down. And there is a hit, a single into left field. Good job by the Dodgers. Hey, just let that one eat the grass. It's fine. It's going to be a single either way. Don't dive and make it way worse. Especially because no one's been able to do anything in this game. Here comes a pitch from the right-handed pitcher. It's upstairs for a ball. That is, right to the first baseman. He throws it to second. The return to first is not in time. He is safe at first, so escapes the double play. And that'll help Derek Barton, working with a little bit more wiggle room. I'm not 100% sure what happened on that return. Let's take a look at it. Because it looked like he was going to be out, but I think the problem is when this first baseman, when he lets this ball go to initiate the double play, he is not the one that the game identifies as the person who needs to catch it. I think it's usually the pitcher who's going to come over and cover, even though it should just be number 35 to get back on the base. I mean, he's definitely safe, but yeah, it's the pitcher covering. It's just a very funky play with how this game operates. I think in that scenario, you would probably go like, hey, don't worry about it, and you step on the bag and get it. But I can also understand having the pitcher cover in that spot just to make sure that he has an eye on the second baseman and knows kind of when the ball's coming. But I think in that scenario, the first baseman had more than enough time, 2 steps off the bag to get back. Either way, the Cubs beat out the double play. It's just one gone. Yes, just one gone with a runner on first. Now a 1-1 count. Righty winds and fires that in for a strike. Here comes the 1-2 way upstairs for a ball. The 2-2 is drilled foul. That is upstairs. Creates a full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. See if they put the runner in motion here. They do not put him in motion, and it's fine. They end up on first and second either way. Nice take by Barton to get on first. I think either team would feel good if they had just a one-run lead. Nobody's been able to do anything consistently against these pitchers, so if you could just get one across, probably looking at a pretty solid chance at winning. It is Freddie Freeman, who is batting under 100, takes a strike on the outside. He has some ways to help the team out. That is outside for a ball. See if they can find anything for him to hit, get a piece of. Even if you'd maybe drive somebody back in right field, you could try to tag up at second. He'll foul that one away. Rail ball. Oh, Freeman! Gets a little bit of a break there. Got jammed. Shot it up the third base line. The defender does not go for any sort of fancy, weird diving catch. And that'll roll into right field. They will not send him around third. They thought about maybe sending him around second. Just not enough speed or a bad jump. Maybe a little bit of both, but it will be bases loaded as Freddie Freeman gets a hit to help improve that 0.91 average. Alberto Callaspo. Now it's his turn against the right-handed pitcher. Tons of ways to get that run in from third, and that is a ball to make it 1-0. Hey, that's a way to get a runner in from third. Bases loaded walk. He'll take a strike right around the knees, and that'll make it 1-1. And Callaspo is going to punch that into center field. It'll score a run. They're sending the runner around third to score two. It is a 2 RBI single. And we have runs, we have action, we have hits. We have offense here in the Windy City. 2-0 Cubs lead. That is in for a strike. So the double play that they're not able to turn, I think that runner's just on third. No, he would have scored from second. They'll get under this one. It's going to be too shallow to send him. He's also kind of like way between third and home. We'll trot back. And it'll be up to Michael Bourne to keep things going. 2 runs already in the frame. And like I said a little bit earlier, you would think that both teams would feel good if they just got 1, maybe 2 runs, because their offense, or the pitching for both sides has been solid. Here comes the pitch. It's just upstairs. Misses for a ball. Two Ando. That is outside for a ball. .30. Oh, he's going to put a swing on that. It's not going to benefit him, but the Cubs still come up with 2 runs, so not that big of a... No harm, no foul, really. I think you'd like to see a pitch taken in that spot, but the pitchers have been a little less, or a little more careless. Oh, excuse me. They've been a little more careless with their location, so some of the batters have been a little aggressive on a meatball just kind of center cut. So the Dodgers, who have done nothing offensively all day, find themselves down 2-0 as we enter the top of the third. That is a big old curveball. I'm going to go ahead and classify it as a so bad it's good. Where the catcher started versus where he ended was the opposite side. He starts on, the glove is on the white line right where he is. It ended up in the other batter's box. So bad it's good. That pitch misses. Doesn't have the wild movement that the previous pitch did. Makes it 1-1. Speaking of ones, we have one more game for you after this one. Mariners taking on the Twins. We stayed east and middle of the country. Though we do have a couple of West Coast teams traveling to the Midwest or to the East Coast. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is going to be hit out towards center field. Center fielder waits for it, waves off his teammates, and lets it drop into his glove for an out. Paul Janish. Giannis, darn it, I should have known that. I said it, and I went, I think that might be not how you pronounce that. Have you considered that? Lefty Zito winds and fires. He drives that into right field. It's going to get all the way to the warning track. Not quite, actually. The right fielder does a nice job to chase it down. We have a runner on second with just 1 gone. That's going to be Ryan Domit. Domit would be D-U, I would assume, and then the D-O would be Doe. One gone, a runner on second. The tying run is at the plate. Zito almost gives up the tie, but it drifts foul. Actually, it wasn't deep enough to be a game-tying home run if it had stayed fair. It's just a foul ball. But again, it sounded good off the bat, and when you see that instant cut, you're kind of like, shoot. That is going to be a sliding stop by the second baseman over to first in time for out number 2. And Juan Pierre is going to get his second crack at Barry Zito. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Juan Pierre is batting .304 on the season. Here comes Zito. Fires at it. A strike is called. 0-1. There's the swing, and it is foul up the third base line. It's the bullpen bump, and we will take a look at an 0-2 pitch. Dodgers down to their final strike, down 2-0 here in Chicago. Pitch is just outside for a ball, 1-2. That is low for a ball. Here comes the 2-2. Pierre fouls that one up the first base line. We'll do it again. And that one stays upstairs for a ball. So, full count and a payoff pitch on the way. Zito looking for just one more strike to retire the side and give the Cubs a 2-0 victory. Juan Pierre, our legend from MLB 2K5, looking to keep the game live. He will do that because he has issued a walk. He'll hustle up to first base. It's a good job blocking the plate there. So now the go-ahead run, we can swing things the other way for Carlos Beltran. 222 average, 2 home runs, 10 RBI. That is a strike. Anthony's 0-1. Oh, they are going to put the runner in motion. Pierre is out to end the game. I don't know if I agree with that. I think you have to, I mean, I understand why you'd want to be aggressive. You put a runner in scoring position. If you can get anything into the outfield, you would be able to tie the game. Just about anything. Well, even with Pierre's speed, I think you'd be able to do that. And then you would take into account the fact that your offense hasn't done anything. They had one hit. Barry Zito's the player of the game. Shout out to the San Francisco Giants. 3 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He picks up the win to improve to 5-5. Johnny Main falls to 5-6. No saves or home runs. Cubs come up with 2 runs in the bottom of the second. The Dodgers get their first hit in the top of the third. They advance them all the way around to third base, but can't cash him in. Paul Yanish was 1 for 1 with a double. Alberto Callespo 1 for 1. He knocked in 2. That will do it for game number 3. We are heading to Minnesota. North of... What a weird career that guy had. I knew Walkoff would know it. I knew it. We are actually not going to catch up on any scores here because we had 3 games in a row. Let's see. Wait, where were the Angels? Angels? Oh, Red Sox Angels. Okay. We are going Mariners Twins in Minnesota. Rankings ERA. You can see Seattle there in the bottom 6. 5.59. And then Minnesota dead last at 6.46. I'm sure that 14-run game really did not help. But they are in last. Only by 0.04 runs. 4 teams with over 6. 8 teams with over 5. Welcome on into Minnesota, the Twin Cities. As we get set for more baseball here. Mariners are 27-23, leaders in the AL West. The Minnesota Twins are 22-29. Brett Gardner, the left fielder, will lead things off for the Mariners. If they can get him on, they will likely put him in motion to try and get him around. Kurt Suzuki is a good guy to have behind him. He is the catcher. Ichiro, hey, he's a great guy to have behind him. He plays right field. Aramis Ramirez is at third. Travis Hafner at first. Brett Wallace is the DH. Reed Brignac, the shortstop. Ian Kinsler is at second. Milky Cabrera is the center fielder. What made Barry Zito's career so weird? Oh, you answered right as I asked. One of the greatest curveballs of all time would start a foot above your head and drop into the dirt. Many a swing and miss on that one. Well, I'm glad I don't have to play him in MLB The Show. Brett Myers, 5-5 with a 6.91 ERA, 10 games with 27.1 innings pitched, 37-12 and 19 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Brett Gardner will get things let off for us here in the top of the first. 235 on the average. Again, if they can get him on, they will likely put him in motion. Here comes the 1-0. That misses low for a ball. 2-0. Here comes the righty. Fires that way outside 3-0. We have had some pitchers who have not been able to find the zone today. It's been a little weird to watch. Cy Young winning stud for the A's. Signs big contract with Giants. Gets the strike on the outside corner. Turns into a horrible pitcher. Then so a 3-1 count. Really good take on that pitch, by the way. Gardner will drive that into the ground to the second baseman. Puts a good effort into trying to get up the line, but it was going to take kind of a miracle for him to get there. And that is the one of the times where a bobble at second base would have actually cost him. Usually in that spot on the field, if the second baseman comes up with a bobble or a first baseman has a bobble, they still have time to get it to the first baseman. Now that is unfortunate, because that would have assuredly put Brett Gardner on second base. Instead, Suzuki pops this one way in the sky. He'll get to first before the ball hits the glove, but that's an out either way. Ichiro, he's a 294 average, 8 RBI, 3 stolen bases with just 1 home run. Not a surprise on the home run total, just because he is so not a home run guy. Giants fans hated his contract. That is looped into right field for a single. So a nice job by Ichiro. Giants fans hated the contract, below the contract for a useless pitcher, but then in 2012 postseason, pitches masterfully for his games. All right. Well, good for Zito. Good for Zito coming through when it mattered the most. It's too bad that people weren't big fans of his contract, but, you know, hey, if you sign a big contract, maybe you should perform. They will check on Ichiro back at first base. He'll be safe, as they are 99.7% of the time. That is outside for a ball. He is safe back at first again. So it's 1-0. Oh, that's going to get away. That's going to get all the way into right field. Ichiro's going to head to second. Oh, my goodness. They checked on him one too many times. From very hated by the fans to Giants fans loving him and his contract because of a couple of games, basically. I mean, hey, if you can erase that, if you can come up and help the team win in a critical moment. I mean, was he bad in years where the Giants were good? Like, did he actively prevent them from winning? Here comes the wind and the pitch. That doesn't get the call. Like, I can imagine if, you know, Barry Zito signs a big Giant contract. It's one of the off years where they don't win the World Series or whatever, but maybe they make a deep playoff run. He was bad, yes, quite bad. 2-2. That stays upstairs. Like even substituting in like just a middling medium pitcher was an improvement. Like, hey, you're so-so, but ugh. Well, you know what? At least he got the win in the end. Won over the fans, helped him win. That is a swing where he kind of just looks like he lost his patience a little bit. It's going to be a close call. It's probably closer to the letters than I realized. It is a full count. Did a real job. That is foul as well. Still had Lincecum and Kane and Bumgardner to overcome his faults. Ugh. Dang. Here comes the righty's pitch. It is going to be driven into left field. Ichiro's going to hit the third base. It's going to be a relay, but he's late. Just late. I think the left fielder might have had enough arm to get it all the way to home plate. The relay costs the Twins a run. Wow. It did not get that deep. I'm a little surprised that they sent Ichiro on that. He just beats the throw. Did seem like it was one of the better relay throws, but I think maybe you just trust that your guy can get it all the way there. That is hit into center field. Lead runner hits second, and he'll head to third. Oh my goodness, another throw to the cutoff man. The Twins throwing it a little all over the yard. They're going to get incredibly lucky that it didn't go into the dugout and allow an advance on the bases to score a run. Knowing this game, it will screw Seattle over. Where did that hit? As we take a look at it, it's going to get hit onto center field. It's going to be thrown in. I guess I could just go with the ball. And then this guy is just going to kind of yeet it a little bit. It's just a ball that got away from him. It kept going. Okay, so that should have gone into the dugout. Great. Great. That should have been an extra base. That should have been out of play. Oh, boy. That is out to center, and that'll be out number 3. The Mariners should have an extra run on the board, but because of that wall at the steps, Seattle comes up with just 1 run on the 3 hits. Let's introduce you to the Minnesota Twins lineup, who's already charged with an error. Dexter Fowler is the center fielder. He'll be leading things off. Escobar is the shortstop. Kendry Morales at first. Marcus Thames in left. Lance Berkman in right. Chase Utley at second. Yadier Molina is the catcher. Melvin Moore at third. Roger Bernardina is your designated hitter. If you tell me, hey, you got to pay this guy $120 million to play horribly, but you win a World Series because of him, I'd take it every time. Keep in mind, this is when $120 million contracts were the upper echelon. The upper echelon. Okay. Trevor Cahill. He's 5-5. We watched him lose last time. 5.27 ERA. Boy, that disappeared real quick. .527 ERA. 10 starts. 27.1 innings pitched. He's given up 33 hits, 10 walks, and struck out just 14. Dexter Fowler leads off. Seattle leads 1-0 here in the top of the first. He will roll over that. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Got a little excited about how that was going to be called, but it is what it is. Yunel Escobar is stepping up. That is low.
Come on, get something started.
That's low for a ball. Righty Wines fires, drives that up the third baseline, foul. And that'll be rolled up the middle, but they're going to give the pitcher the fielding animation, and that will be out number 2 for the Twins. Driven right back to him. I guess it is at least on his glove side hand. Sometimes the game feels like it's a little weird. I don't know, it feels like this game is playing with VATs or dice rolls behind every single play. Wild to watch sometimes, or just, okay, you're going to catch the ball. Okay, you rolled a 3, it's a drop. That is out into right field, but Ichiro charges and makes the grab. Quickly, the Twins are down 1-2-3. Brignac, Kinsler, and Cabrera coming up for the Mariners. The 7-8-9 hitters getting ready to try and flip the lineup over. Reed, Brignac. So we get the top of the second started. Seattle up 1-0. That is going to be hit out towards right field. The right fielder has a beat on it. He's making the nonchalant jog over towards it, and it is a well-hit 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Ian Kinsler, 2 home runs, 11 RBI. He has 3 stolen bases on the season. It looks a little weird going out to some of the taller walls where maybe it looks like the guy's going to be able to catch it, but it's technically it's going to go off that wall instead of a home run or whatever. It's an out for the Mariners. And now that'll be foul. I believe that makes it 0-1-1. 1-1. That is hit out towards right center field. Who is going to get it? It'll be the center fielder. I believe it's that Dexter Fowler out there for the Twins. It's a nice reaching grab. Seattle's trying to get into that right center gap, I guess, but much like the current Twins with Byron Buxton, they have a very speedy center fielder robbing Seattle of hits. Byron Buxton, who's been making my life miserable since I've been playing MLB The Show 162 game seasons. And before that as well, but boy, has he been kind of a pain. Honestly, Byron Buxton, the person, more annoying than the stadium for the Minnesota Twins. Though the lighting off of their batter's eye out in center is brutal, depending on the start time. Batter did not agree with the first strike call. Pitcher tries to go back down to that same area. Can't quite get doesn't have the finesse to get it twice in a row. 1-1 with 2 gone here in the top of the second. That is outside for a ball. Very curious to see if 1 run is enough for the Mariners. I would venture a guess that it is not, because their pitching staff has not come through at times this season. Here's the righty. Gets another call. We get the same animation, kind of that blank stare head shake from the batter. I agree with them. Both those pitches looked low. Otherwise, it's a 4-pitch walk. Here comes the 2-2. He's going to have to be aggressive on the swing. It's foul. Here comes the 2-2. That is foul. So we'll do it yet again. And a big swing and a miss from Melky Cabrera. That will retire the side, and the Mariners hold on to a 1-0 lead. It is outside for a ball. One and 0. Here comes the righty's pitch. It's going to be rolled over. Third baseman comes up with it. Fires across the diamond in time, and that is an out. Lance Berkman. 232 average for him.
That's a foul ball.
0-1. 0-2. And he's going to dribble that one. Pitcher's going to come up with it. He throws just in time for out number 2. 3 pitches, 3 swings. Finally gets one in fair territory. Nice reach, nice stretch over there by the first baseman. Come out and get that ball. Chase Utley next for the Twins, who still find themselves down 1-0. That is drilled into left field. Looks like the pitcher maybe tried to get a little bit too cute. It's going to be a double. A 2-out double puts the tying run on second and the go-ahead run at the plate. That was a curveball that I'm sure he wanted to just drop a little bit lower, but stayed a little more middle, and bam. It's a 2-out double. They need the first baseman doing the splits animation. I bet they'll patch it in. I'm sure. They're taking copious notes on MLB 11. They do need that, though. That is low and outside for a ball, 1-0. That is hit out towards right field. It is not going to have enough. Caught on the grass by Ichiro, and we will head to the top of the third. 1-0. Ichiro fires it into the stands. 3 hits for the Mariners, just 1 run to show for it. Minnesota gets the 2-out double, but that is it. Brett Gardner is 0 for 1. His average is kind of low. 232. I think he'd want a little bit more from the leadoff hitter, but what he can do on the base paths with his speed is, it's kind of why you would want that average to be a little higher. Get on base just a little more frequently, try to get a few more stolen bags. First pitch misses. It's a ball, 1-0. That is in for a strike. Here comes the 2-0. It is in for a strike. Gardner takes that pitch outside. Ball 3. 3-1 now. Oh, and they're going to put Gardner's going to put the bunt down. Doesn't even get it into fair territory. Third baseman looked like he was crashing down pretty effectively. And it will be a pop out to the third base side. Does he have room? He does not. The tarp gets in the way. And he'll foul it up the first base line. Gardner, and maybe in a bit of an auto swing mode here. Couple, what, 3, 4 foul balls in a row if you include that bunt attempt. Well, he'll come through with a big hit. That should put him on second, no problem. It's going to get near that 339 marker, but a leadoff double for the Seattle Mariners with Suzuki and Ichiro coming up. One more run. An insurance run feels big here. Especially with the fact that that wall doesn't count as a out of play, that invisible wall. Like, they just cut the field at the exact edges that they needed to, but it should have gone into the dugout. That is hit out towards right field. We'll see how aggressive they get with Gardner. I'd imagine they put him in motion. They will. Right fielder, oh boy, that's a big throw. He is out. He's out at third. That's a huge throw. My goodness. And it's that diving animation. Brett Gardner is talking to the umpire. Is he going to get tossed? He does not. It's just a bad second out at third base. Wow. I mean, the right fielder was deep enough. Who is that? Who's in right field? What a throw. I thought it actually had just a little too much air on it. It wasn't the most accurate throw, and the third baseman deserves a lot of credit as well for locating that ball, grabbing it, and immediately diving. Granted, that game's kind of broken. But what a wild play. Just when you thought the Mariners were going to have an insurance run 90 feet from home plate, Minnesota Twins right fielder has a little to say about that. That is going to be driven right up the middle. That would have scored a run. Even if he just stayed at second, it's a 2-0 game. But instead, Ichiro puts himself on first. They'll bring up Aramis Ramirez, who's 1-for-1 with a single and an RBI. That is inside. Nice job by the catcher. Twins pitcher missed a pitch like a big slider way outside. Thankfully for him, nobody was on first. That is hit well. That is going to be a 2-run, 2-out home run. Let's go! Puts it into the seats. It's 3-0 Mariners. Unbiased commentator. 407 majestic feet. That one you could tell because we had that runner on first, so you could see Ichiro just very slowly watching it. Hafner's 1-for-1 with a single. Those are two big runs. Makes it 3-0. It's 2-out damage. Mariners could be looking at a bigger lead depending on a couple things. You know, the Gardner going from second to third is a great defensive play. The wall that guards the steps into the dugout, which would have been an out of play, would have advanced the runners a base, as the Twins were kind of just throwing it all over the yard. They chant overrated at him. And he swings and fouls that one away. Completely unbiased commentator. Thank you for recognizing. I appreciate it. 1 and 2. And a swing and a miss. That'll retire the side, but not before the Mariners pick up a few more hits and a couple more runs. Mora, Bernardina, and Fowler will be the last chance for the Twins in the home half of the third. That's inside for a ball. Righty winds and fires. That's outside for a ball. Got to try and throw a little more in the zone. You could be at least a little aggressive here. Maybe just a touch too cute. 2-0. Gets the swing and gets him under it. The ballpark is going to hold it. Ichiro makes the out in foul territory, and that is one gone. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Foul at the first base line. That is going to be hit well out to left field. Does it have enough? It does not. It's Brett Gardner making a play as he hits the warning track and bumps into the 377 sign out in left center field. Dexter Fowler, he's 0 for 1 in the last chance for the Minnesota Twins today. Wind and the pitch just misses, low for a ball, 1-0. There's that pitch. That's going to get the strike call right at the letters. 1-1. .55 is going to give up the hit or the contact. Center fielder comes in to make the play, and that will do it. There's your ball game. 3-0 Seattle. Only a road team to win in our coverage today. It was a 1-0 walk-off win for the Phillies. No, wait, did the last team... Ah, shoot, I'm already forgetting the scores. 3-0's your final here. As Seattle takes care of the Twins to maintain the lead in the American League West. They have been slipping. That gap was as big as 5 earlier in the month of May. And it has dwindled down to what... a game and a half coming into this game. We'll see what it looks like kind of out of it. Trevor Cahill is your player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, no strikeouts. 1 of the first 2 in the third. Cahill improves to 6-5. Brett Myers falls to 5-6. Ramirez's 4th home run of the day. Aramis Ramirez was 2 for 2 with a home run, and he knocked in every run that the Mariners scored. I think you could make an argument that he was actually the player of the game, considering that he is the reason that the Mariners won. He knocked in the first run. He homered for the other 2. Chase Utley was 1 for 1 with a double. The lone hit for the Twins. Let's go ahead and catch up on some scores here. We will catch up. Oh, so wait, yeah. We had the Mets won 3-0, the Phillies won 1-0, and the Cubs won 2-0. So the Mariners are the only road team to win in our coverage today. Rockies over the Cardinals 2-1. Red Sox give the Mariners a little bit of help and drop the Angels down to 500 with a 1-0 victory. Most unbiased commentary, the Seattle who? Never heard of them. Seattle who? Seattle? Seattle? Athletics over the Guardians 1-0. Diamondbacks over the Padres 3-1. That series is no longer all that interesting, but the Rockies and Diamondbacks both 29 and 24. Giants over the Reds 2-1. And the Mariners, I believe is how you pronounce that, because unbiased commentator, I don't know who they are. They win 3-0. So we're 28 and 23 and 26 and 26. So 2.5 games now. A lead for the Mariners in the American League West. That will do it for June 1st, 2011. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get this saved. It was a quick one. When you get 3 home teams that win in regulation, you only have to watch 2.5 innings of baseball. So we had a full inning cutoff because we did have one that went, was a walk-off. It was a 2-out walk-off on a pitch that I thought was going to send us to extras. But instead it just kind of carried. And then you get the Mariners putting away the Twins in regulation. Makes that stream real short. Thanks everybody for watching. I think this is the shortest stream that we've done so far. Be well. Thank you so much. You be well as well. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, hopefully, here on the channel. I'll be here. Hopefully you will be here as well, because hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, again, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. All of that's free, easy ways to help the channel, which I appreciate. Thanks for watching. Good sports, go baseball. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Good night, everybody.